What up, everybody? We're here. We're going. We're good. We're good. Look, your camera's good now.
Tired of all these Steeler fans bitching. They're like, we need a reset. Blah blah blah.
But they're always. You guys.
We make it to the playoffs every goddamn year.
Yeah, so shut up.
Yeah. You know how Jacksonville feels?
Well, I mean, Atlanta feels pretty bad. It feels pretty bad to be Atlanta.
You guys made it to the Super Bowl,
and we lost in the worst way.
Like there's a small possibility that I will die before the Dolphins make it back to the Super Bowl. Like there's like the Steelers, as long as Tomlin's there, he can make it to the Super Bowl. You get some anomaly quarterback.
We're good.
Anyway,
you want to start?
Yeah.
All right. Where's this going?
We won't talk about that.
Yeah. Can I? Is this one where I swear or no?
No,
swear?
We'll put this on the radio.
Okay. You can
tonight.
You can sort of swear.
That's okay.
Radio. Rules.
Well, we had Busey on, and
oh my god.
My God. I literally, I don't think. I mean, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Have any child listen to that.
40 seconds in,
we put it on the radio.
My balls are hanging out.
He's talking about shitting. He was talking
about, I'm shitting my pants. I don't wear underwear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we put it on the radio.
And we just put it right up. I go,
we just bleeped it out.
And then I go, is this good? Is this funny?
Yeah.
People are like, we don't know either. No one's listening, so we just put it out. No one's listening.
Just bleeping out the actual curse word, it doesn't make that much of a difference.
When's the last time you listened to real radio? This is still part of the warm-up.
Oh.
I'll tell you, I'm convinced that they're just playing old shows from years ago. I don't think anyone's in the building. I don't think there's anyone in there.
It's like
I heard you on there the other day. With Shannon Burke. No.
I was like, wait a minute.
And people that are dead now. Like, there are people that are dead now that I hear the broadcast. It's Davy Jones' locker.
It's like a star in the universe. You're like, that star burned out 2 billion years ago.
You're just
that's we're still seeing the light.
Look at my beard. This is what an Orlando radio star looks like when he burns out. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. We're doing it. 3. Oh, I can see that. I can already see that my cameras are going to have to catch up. These motherfuckers. Okay, sorry, you can't curse. They just had to get that out.
All good.
3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on YouTube and Twitch, and we'd love it if you join us. Just search for @TomandDanLive.
With us in studio to talk about a weird job.
A weird job.
Also to promote his Who's the Baddie podcast.
It's a great podcast.
The founder and host of Who's the Baddie.
Yes, indeed.
Our buddy Matt.
Yeah. Some say the baddest of the bad.
Well, thanks, guys. And Cabin Boy for those really old school real radio listeners that from 2005 that still are checking us out.
I wasn't gonna say
they knew
Cabin
it
Boy.
Was you.
Honestly, I told myself this morning. I was like, you know what? Today's the day. Cabin Boy dies today. You call him Matt. You call him. He's a dad now. Beautiful daughter, beautiful wife, loving family.
I was going to say it if he didn't.
Were you going to say it?
Because I have to.
It's all right. Familiarity. We talked about
I'm on his show. He's like, Tom, you may know him as Drunky. He did it to me.
Well, listen. Okay, so you guys have both done my new podcast, Who's the Baddie?
Yeah,
Tom,
it's great.
Your episode's out today. We talked about Shawshank Redemption. But I did, the listeners, we don't know where they're coming from with the podcast, and there's some new ones, and I introduced myself as Cabin Boy and you as Drunky just so people could understand our backstory. We talk about that a little bit in the podcast that's out today. So I want people to understand where it all comes from, so they know we're not just a couple of random dudes in Orlando.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because I do the same thing, but then I constantly yell at myself. I'm like, whoever's listening, they know already. They know the backstory. They know you.
But they don't. I mean, but they do.
Yeah.
But then no one's listening, so does it matter? That's what I say. Do they? Do they not? Or are they listening?
None of it. You can say anything.
A wise man once said, some people may be listening. Also, there may be nobody listening.
Anything goes.
Anything goes. Nobody knows.
That's it.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I think I heard somebody say that recently.
So Matt,
do you want to? I did some music because I know. Look, we got to do the Weird Job Wednesday theme songs and stuff like that. Do you want to?
Yes, but first I want to ask Matt, how's father life?
Oh, very good. We have to check in. Check in with a newer dad.
Sure, it's good. It's way better than I expected it to be. I'm having a ton of fun with my kid. She's, I guess it's still in months because she's 20 months, so she's pushing 2. and she's just really fun all around. I'm having a great time. She's very interactive now, so it's cool.
Yeah, once they like kind of get a personality, it becomes a whole different ball game, and it is hard to explain that to people. It's hard to explain to people why you would want to sacrifice time and sleep and all of that. It's also hard to articulate the feeling inside your chest, that, at least that I get. Like mine is almost like a form of positive anxiety, where I get the same feeling that I get of that dread triggering. Like if I see Maisie do something that I love, I get like a hot love feeling inside of me. Very hard to explain. Hot love is what I call it.
It's chemicals.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm like, this is wonderful.
So I know I've bitched about this before.
But we know you're going to do it again. And you know what? You have a radio show. You have a radio show for bitching about stuff, man.
This may not be correct, all right?
That should be the name of our new show. The name of our new show is This May Not Be Correct.
But I want you to know I believe it is, and
we know you believe everything you say is correct. We know that.
And I know it is. So before we start the show, Matt was explaining, and I get this from a lot of new parents, and I was like this.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to, I fell for it too, just like everybody else. But Matt was explaining he took his daughter to the pediatrician, just like we all have to, because they want to make the money. So they say every 6 months you have to go, even though babies are babies, they're always fun. Anyway, so
that's a Tom Van guarantee.
You go to the pediatrician, and then when you leave, they give you a little card. They're like, your baby is in some sort of percentile, right? You're based on height and weight.
It's a baby war. It's how you compare your baby against other babies.
And then you get the card.
It's how you know that you've got the best baby.
You're like, whoa, 95?
Yeah,
that's an A. And then you're like,
that's a big boy. That's a big girl.
And then you leave happy that you just paid $90 or whatever your copay is.
I feel like you've also tricked yourself into thinking anything that you did contributed to the percentile.
Yes,
right? That's the trick. That's the trick.
And I totally believe that all these pediatricians just got together at one time. I don't even know when they started this. We didn't have this when we were kids. No one gave us our parents. You did?
Yeah, I had it. I can't let you do that.
I think I did too.
But you were a preemie.
I 100% had
so
all
they
the
had
percentiles.
But your preemie, they had to
so they only gave out percentile to preemies?
Yes, because you were born...
this isn't... I don't think this is a new thing.
Some sort of mutant.
No.
I don't know what a preemie is. Anyway.
This isn't new. But it is more, I'd say they put more emphasis on it now, but it's not a new thing.
They just give it to any kid that is healthy or whatever. They give you the card, they're like 95 or whatever percentile, and you get it, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then you tell all your friends, you're like, hey, I got a 95. Then this is what I did it too.
Yeah, the chat room, they all had percentiles. Right. Thank you for backing me up, because this guy speaks like everything he says is right.
Hold on.
And it is not right.
They've been doing this since the 80s?
Everybody,
I think I used to have it, man, when I was a kid.
Really?
And I'm an 80s
don't let him
baby.
scare you into not telling your truth. You're allowed to tell your truth. Don't let him intimidate you.
I think so.
Yeah, I just told you, but you didn't believe me. I told you, you're like, no, you're a mutant preemie. It's like, no, they had percentiles. But it's not. It's a bigger emphasis now, I would say. Yeah, the whole pediatrician thing is bigger, but they did have percentiles back in the day.
Okay, well, here's what I believe, is that those percentiles mean nothing, and it's just a marketing thing for the parent to whatever.
But what's the positive outlook? Like, what do you get for having a kid in the 99th percentile?
Yeah, well, what I mean is that nothing that won't determine if they're actually tall or short.
They tell you it can change.
Yeah, so it changes. Like I was told, like Max was in the 90 or Tommy or whatever one. They're both shortest in their class.
So you misunderstood it and thought they were going to stay in that percentile.
Well,
that's on you for not reading what that says. The percentile changes.
Well, if
they're just telling you what the kid is at the time. They're not telling you what the kid's going to be. It's not predicting the future.
Well, then what is it there
for?
It's
telling you what the child is. How he's running now. It's like if you took your car
What does it matter, though, if it goes up and down?
Like if you take your car and you're like, your car efficiency is running at this point and you have this amount of gas in it. You know, it's like something like that.
Yeah, but just like Matt, we think when we're told 90th percentile, we're like, oh, we're going to have a tall kid. That's weird because I'm pretty
But I think that's
average.
I think that's our fault for not knowing that. I do it too. Like you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, but it's a grading of the time.
I think it's more about like health, because if your kid is like in the 40th percentile, I don't know this for sure, but it might show like they're malnourished or they need you have to change their diet and you have to my brother had a preemie baby that was in like the bottom percentile.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to hold food down for a long time.
Sure.
So they had to stay overnight at the hospital, give him IVs, do all kind of whatever.
Yeah, a fellow mutant.
Well,
as Carl calls us. Yeah, a fellow mutant.
I'm not talking about your
fellow
brother.
X-Men.
Me
and the other X-Men out there. Yeah, we got Professor X over here.
Oh, I don't mean
you
that
are
for other
evil
preemies.
Professor X.
I don't mean that for other preemies.
Just the one that helps make you money. Yeah, this guy.
I was only saying preemie because then if there's an actual medical problem, you need to know if your kid is growing right.
He's backpedaling his bike into Miami Syndrome land.
Well,
if you're healthy, who cares what percentage? If it fluctuates, it only matters if I know my kid's going to be tall or short when they're adults.
Ours changed, and they said it could change. Like when we took Maisie, they were like, "Oh, she's in the 99th percentile for height," and then they were like, and then the next time we brought her, they're like, sorry, 60s."
Well, why did they even give it to us?
Well, that's because we were talking about because I told you that my daughter. So I'm a shorty. I'm 5'7". My wife's 5'2". And our daughter,
I'm an ultra shorty. That's what I call them. Ultras
is above the 100th percentile for a kid of her age. She's not even 2. She's like 20 months old, and she's 32 pounds and 3 feet tall. And they had to like double check that, but she's in daycare with all 2-year-olds, and she's the biggest kid in the class. And it doesn't make any sense because we're tiny people.
So what I'm saying is that card better mean that she's going to be 6 foot tall. And if she's not, and if she just ends up at 5'4", right between you and your wife, then you're going to storm back there, and you're going to be like, why are you giving us these cards? Because you falsely made me think my daughter was going to be tall, and then I'm telling my friends, all for nothing.
No, it was your limited intellect believing the card. They're telling, it's just a grade of what's happening. It's the baseline for and like the chat room's even saying that too. It's not just height. It's height and weight and all across the board, like Cabin is saying, health.
Yeah, but does it mean is a prediction of the future?
No. I don't think they've ever. No, they've never said that. I don't believe that. And I'll say this again, and you're not going to believe it. I don't believe the doctor takes the card, hands it to you, and says, "Here is your prediction card." That's not what the doctor is doing.
They don't say that, but they give you the card for what reason?
But people with limited intellect get it, don't read it fully, and then believe it's a prediction card from a wizard. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm just saying, you know how many dumb people are out there like me?
I do know how many.
That's what I'm talking. That's who I'm talking to. You guys are smart enough to realize that card is not a prediction. I thought it was a prediction.
Getting that mad when the predictions don't come true. Imagine the feeling in my dad's heart when he got his card. My God. Like nothing written on it. It's literally a blank card.
Let's do some weird jobs.
All right. So normally we do a Weird Job Wednesday theme song. I'm getting tired of doing the same one over and over. So now I wrote a song that is of a specific origin, like a specific profession. You know the guy that sucks out all the doo-doo from the porta-potties? Well, I wrote him a song. He has his own song. He will now be immortalized with this brand new song. It is a vintage country western song in the style of the Pioneers. Here we go. Little Sons of the Pioneers action for you.
I get up at 3, put on these boots, insulated gloves and the whole damn suit. And I bet you're asking, what do I do? You know, porta-potties, I suck their poo. I suck their poo. It's what I do. You love events. Well, good for you. When the party's over and the band is through and you're kissing her, I'll be sucking poo.
There you go.
Wow.
That goes out to all our sewer men out there who are currently sucking poo.
Yeah. That's
a hard job.
That's a hard
job, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the roughest. And I think we've actually talked to those guys before, and I don't think they hate it as much as we think they would. They actually kind of like it, I think,
it's manual labor mixed with doo-doo, which,
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those.
Rough.
Yeah, it's a rough go.
But, so we're here with Matt, and we want to talk about your first original job that got you the Cabin Boy name, correct?
Yeah, actually, that's true. It did.
So-
Oh God, that song gives me chills in a
I was
bad
wondering
way.
if I played this, if you would be triggered,
Holy
because
cow.
how many times do you think you've heard the Yo-Ho Pirate's Life for Me song?
Oh my God, 10,000 probably. And then when I was doing real radio and I was cabin boy, they played that all the time too. It just like basically from the age of 18 to the age of 28, I couldn't escape that song multiple times a day.
Was it your first job down here?
In Orlando, yeah. Well, okay, so I did the Disney college program for any.
Doesn't that mean that you just have wild sex?
No,
Anybody that I know.
That's what I saw.
I just call it like I see it now because I'm almost 50. I'm 50 and I can't. Like I'll just call it like I see it. Anybody I know that talks about the Disney, any Disney college program, orgy crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so
all of them orgies.
apparently, like in the 80s and 90s, it was like that, but they went on lockdown because the apartments you stay at are called Vista Way, and they used to call them Vista Lay. But then,
Who
yeah,
thought of that?
Okay.
My God.
and I did it in 2002 is when I did the college program, and they come to your school. I was at Penn State. And they come once a year and they try to recruit kids. And, you go and you hey there, cabin boy. Wait in line all day and you talk to the recruiters and it's this big pitch. Hey, you're going to work for a Fortune 500 company and this is going to further your career and it's going to look great on your resume. And you take a semester off of school and it's going to be brilliant. And then you go to Orlando and you are working for $6 an hour selling plastic pirate swords for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you have to live in the Disney housing. They automatically deduct the rent out of your paycheck. So they're getting you every which way Disney is that they can. And they're working you to death. I do have really good memories of those years. Like it was a really fun 6 months doing it. A couple of the people I met are still some of my best friends to this day, my roommates. It was fun, but man, it is not the most glamorous of internships.
I bet.
Yeah, nothing is as good as they portray it to be.
No.
Social media has told us we watch.
It's as simple as a food photo at a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
If you're let down there, what makes you think that you're going to see photos of college kids at Disney? Like, oh, look at me foraging. Look at me. I'm actively creating a resume. Like really.
And then you tell yourself I have fond memories of going to Disney World. That would be an awesome place to work. And then when you're working there, you're like, oh, this is just a giant mega corporation.
Right.
And
then when you look back too, though, you only remember the good stuff about it because there were really fun times. And we talked, Daniel, when you came on to my podcast, who's the Baddie? We talked about it for a little while too because I started out with the Pirates, but then then I went back to school. I moved back to Orlando. And I worked at Real Radio, but I was interning for free for a year, or maybe even longer than that. And I was picking up odd jobs, so I was doing Disney as much as I could. Disney and the Hard Rock Cafe.
So once a pirate, always a pirate, right?
No,
you can't just go get there I'm dusting off my sword and getting back in the game.
Well, they were moving me around, so I did a couple other jobs at Disney. One of them I did what they call the glow carts. So whenever you go, you have the fireworks at the end of the night, right?
Yeah.
I was one of the people that would push the cart of toys around and sell them to the kids.
Oh, you contributed to that island out in the Pacific.
Right?
Like you're a part of that. You're actively part of destroying the earth.
How does it feel selling someone a plastic piece of garbage that Disney bought for 5 cents?
And it's got a half-life. The best part about the glow
$28.
stuff, the best part of the glow stuff is once you sell it, you realize that's going to be dead in the morning.
So
it's dead.
Yeah, so to that point, it is all crap, but they expect you when at the height of it, when it's dark out before the fireworks start, kids are just running to your cart full speed, grabbing toys. Sometimes their parents are paying, sometimes they're not. They literally build into the price a certain amount of theft. So it's not like, hey, you sold this much, how much money do you have? It's like, how much was stolen tonight? Oh, only $100? Okay, good job. They barely took anything off
We
your
should
cart.
have done that with our subscription for our podcast. We didn't build any theft, and everybody's stealing our podcast.
If you sell one plastic wand, it pays for 5 carts of garbage.
Yeah.
So they're like, it doesn't matter. Our margins are high.
My God.
That was actually one of my favorite jobs, though, because every night, once the fireworks started, everybody just kind of stood around. So I got to see the fireworks show at Disney every night and just kind of chill.
That is pretty cool.
It was pretty fun. And but then
didn't it ruin fireworks for you? Like seeing too many fireworks sometimes you're like, well, I've seen this all. It's not exciting anymore.
No, because Disney, like, they orchestrate it to music, and it's like a whole production and a whole show. It's really like you're getting like an experience out of it.
Do you have to dress like a dickhead?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's like white parachute pants and then a black and white striped like referee shirt.
Hold on a second. That's what I'm wearing right now. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm bringing back my parachute pants.
So back to Pirates of the Caribbean for a second, because
is it the best ride? Let's cuss and discuss quickly. I mean, is that the money?
No,
is that the money ride?
Space Mountain, I think.
At Magic Kingdom,
I
really?
think it's because Space Mountain's like a roller coaster. Pirates is really famous. It's probably the best gift shop. Everybody always comes and buys all the pirate memorabilia.
Yeah,
but
beautiful gift shop, huge gift shop.
Yes,
I like when they took out the raping pirate.
Yeah, he was my favorite pirate.
And they're like, at one point in time,
where they put him?
Some executives are like, we can't have a pirate chasing a woman.
Yeah, now they
because of his intention, he does not care if she doesn't want it.
Yeah. He's gonna burn her. He's gonna burn her alive. Yeah. He's gonna burn her alive.
The fact that she's running away tells everybody she doesn't want it, and he obviously doesn't care about it.
Do you know where they put him? Do you know where they put that pirate? Because
No.
it's still well, now they have the lady. They also don't sell a lady anymore.
What do you mean?
They used to sell a woman.
Really?
Yeah, there used to be like a scene in Pirates of the
there was an auction.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I don't think they sell a woman anymore, and then they took the raping
prostitute auction,
and they took the raping pirate out, and he is now bartending at Johnny's other side.
So when you are stationed at Pirates of the Caribbean, you go around is it because there's the gift shop where are you working?
I was gift shop.
Okay.
So it's like, because there's a whole, they divide it into you're either attractions or sales. You can't do both. So you're either handling the money or you're handling the safety. So they train you in one or the other.
That's because people are stupid, I bet.
Probably.
So how often does a ride get shut down because some drunk dad,
puts his leg in there?
I
dropped my crock.
Yeah. I'm sure some people freak out from anxiety and then try to get out and walk. And
After the initial dip?
Yeah, or something.
So,
who knows?
So I don't know how often, but I can tell you that when they would get shut down, it is the craziest thing because people would be furious. Now, I understand people being mad. Maybe you have one day of your life at Magic Kingdom and you wanted to ride pirates. But people, I was a 19-year-old college kid that looked like I was about 13, standing there with a silk shirt and a plastic sword, and people, grown men, would come up and yell at me and be like, "How dare you? This ride is shut down. I'm gonna," and they would like get and point in my face, and
I like that. I like that they did that too.
But they train you on that. and they're like, you are never allowed to like curse back or talk. You'll get fired immediately. Yeah. So you just have to take it and be like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I'll get a manager and they'll make it right."
Do they have people like big fat dads yell at you during training? Because I would like that job.
Yeah. EJ, you can get a job, buddy.
But so the other thing that they would yell like crazy when I was doing the glow carts,
can I get
a if it was daytime instead, and it was like hot, middle of summer, middle of August, I would do the cart and I would sell the squeeze breeze, they called it, which is the water bottle with the rotating fan, and you spray it and it just mists you.
That's trademarked.
Right?
We might have to pay for you saying that. Squeeze breeze is the deal.
So this was back in 2002. Those things cost $17 each, which is completely insane. A water bottle with a fan.
That's what the retail was.
Yeah, right. They probably cost Disney a penny.
Yeah.
So, as much as I loved working the glow carts at night and seeing the fireworks, I dreaded doing the day because every time what would happen is a dad would come up to me and be like, "I need 3 of those for my 3 kids." And I'd be like, "Okay, that's $51. And they would be like, "Are you kidding?" And just absolutely explode. And what would always end up happening.
I think that's actually
I was trying to hit it. I was trying to hit it on the
I can't tell you how many times it would happen. They'd yell in your face. They'd storm off. They'd go back to the kids. The kids would cry. They'd walk back over, hand me the cash, and be like, "You should be ashamed of yourself." But
you should be ashamed of yourself,
I
pirate. Fake pirate
Disney,
boy.
like, would do studies to figure out the exact amount they could charge where that would happen, and they'd still get their money.
Chat room checking in to piggyback what you're saying.
Yeah.
Neo Del Rio says, my dad got an annual pass at Disney. We had to stop taking him. He was verbally abusing all the cast members. He was verbally abusing all the cast members.
Okay, so let's...
Thank you for getting him out of there, Neo. I'm sorry your dad... What was he mad about? Tell me what he was mad about in the chat room.
Help me figure this out.
Okay.
So you're a dad, you're mad at the prices, and you're mad that the Pirates of the Caribbean shut down, so whatever.
Yeah. My dad was kind of this guy.
So you and I know you're mad, right?
Yeah.
But then you see the Matt said, the 13-year-old boy in the costume, his first job, whatever,
He's
working
got
at
his
Disney.
white parachute pants on.
Yeah. It's very most Disney cast members. I feel like they're meek. Not so many praying hands tattoos and chin beards.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not even allowed. They won't hire you yet. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, so
A lot of Bill Gates.
So, and you understand, like, you have a job, you had to pay to get in this place or whatever. You're an adult. Like, I think you have a basic concept of how business works.
You don't have a temper. And I don't think you understand how good it feels to bully someone that looks weak.
Okay, so...
And yell at them in front of your kids.
So you know that this kid doesn't have any... he's not in charge of setting the prices.
No.
Like, it's just his job. Like, you know that yelling at him is not going to change anything.
He showed up for work late.
So you just
didn't even want to be there.
So the reason they do that is just to get some emotional tax out on this poor kid and make this kid's day worse to make you feel better. Horrible person.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think there's ever a play where it's this.
How can
we talked about
doing anything?
Yeah, we talked about it all the time when we were working there because it would. I mean, at least once a week it would happen to somebody. Like girls would run in the back crying and like just be like, "Man, why are people like this?" And you just think about it from their point of view. Like at that time, and God only knows what it is now, but at that time, a week-long vacation for a family of 4 staying at a Disney resort, going to all 4 parks, cost like $9,000 or something. So,
we get good traction on these. Say how horrible it is. If we use these in our social media videos, all the Disney people come out of the woodwork.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
What
this is great.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, you're doing it.
Okay,
You're doing
all right.
it.
No,
Yeah,
it's
just say how
insanely-
expensive. Oh, it's so expensive. Wow.
Yeah, okay. So, at that time, a lot of families were saving up for years to do this.
Yeah.
And if they don't have the perfect vacation, they lose their minds. So, and especially with kids and
like a
everything
wedding.
like that. And so, but that's the thing. And the other thing is if you complain enough, Disney's policy is like nobody is allowed to leave unhappy. Give them whatever.
What? That's
they
her
want.
policy?
I didn't know this. Write that down. Hold on, I'm writing that down.
They have broken that.
Yeah, I have never
every
known that.
goddamn time.
So
where's my?
I'm gonna start going crazy.
Where's my Mister?
The main no. Listen, and for everybody listening, this is a hack that you can do.
Where's my Mr. Breeze?
the main customer service is at the City Hall on Main Street, right in the Magic Kingdom. If you go in there and you had a bad time and you complain and you say, this, and this were wrong, like I had a terrible experience, make it right. They will give you whatever.
Don't
Free
tell
souvenir.
people this.
No,
I'm writing all this down.
No.
They already know.
Viral video.
And now there's
Melissa, scrape this. We're doing it. Put
people,
this out there.
People already know, and you know what? That created a army of complainers, and it's horrible.
And they're disgusting fat says.
And then they're like, if I stay at a place and I complain, they'll give me something for free.
Well, not everywhere, but also
that's where moved over our Airbnb, and they like small business.
Yeah,
they're like,
Tom had to deliver coffee to a lady one morning.
Oh my God!
Get the hell out of here! You know what? This is the Disney's fault for giving people that complain free stuff because now they go and complain to small businesses and get the hell out of my business.
Well, look, this was also 20 years ago, so the policies may have changed.
No,
I
it
don't
still
know.
happens.
No. Tracy in our Twitch chat room is saying that her best friend complained because when she got home, her lightsaber was broken, and they gave her 4 park hopper passes.
Yeah, so
That's ridiculous.
My sons have anxiety. I want front of the line.
the other,
Here you go.
the other
We
funny
don't want
one
any anxiety.
Yeah, I'm telling you this.
was when they did the Pride days, and they used to do Oh God, this
Are
was
you going to
always
go on
so
an
funny.
anti-gay rant?
No.
Write this down.
Ready.
Mark the time for
timestamp.
Melissa.
That's fine. We'll get more listeners.
Yeah, oh my
So-
God.
It's a different time.
People seem to be into this now. I don't know why.
They would do the Pride Days, and you would like, there'd be like, I don't know if it, like in the gay community, you knew if you wore a red shirt to Disney, that meant like you were supporting Pride or you were gay, and that was the signal. So you would see these like Southern redneck dads in their like bright red Confederate flag shirts, and like gay guys would be high-fiving them, and they would go and complain and be like, "This is outrageous."
I do not like gay high fives.
And then-
Hold on, I blame the gay guys because you should have known there's a Confederate flag shirt.
I'm gonna high five.
Like, I know it's red
No,
and
they
it's
deserve
gay,
a high five.
but
so-
it's that Confederate flag.
Everybody's
so-
getting a high five.
But same thing. So Disney would be like,
Free high five.
I'm really sorry. Come into the Main Street store. Pick any outfit you want. We'll give it to you for free. You can change.
I want this gay shirt with rainbows all over it.
Why not
are
make
so
Gay
stupid.
Days rainbow shirts?
Well,
It's
I
totally
don't think we had that
obvious.
then. No, seriously.
That was pre-rainbow?
But
I think it might have been.
It was pre. And look, I may be speaking out of turn, but as the oldest man here, I'm just going to say there was a time when I knew that when you would go to Disney parks to support, if you were an ally, you wore red. The rainbow thing is a new thing.
Oh, okay.
It used to be red. Like when Gay Days,
Yeah.
like when I started working at Real Radio and we would do like Gay Parade or whatever, it was red.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know when they said.
Yeah, when
because
did it get
the
rainbow?
rainbow does make a little more sense.
It does.
Because red, red goes all over the place. Atlanta Falcons, Kansas City Chiefs,
Confederate flag.
gay, Japan, China.
Like, you just take the rainbow.
Yeah, rainbow's easy.
You got the rainbow. I think they secured the rainbow.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and I like it. It looks better, but
Yep.
yeah, it used to be red, I believe.
So I heard, and I think you talked about this on Who's the Baddie with Daniel. There was they would have weddings there at the Pirates of the Caribbean, and then you'd have to, or when would you have to put up your fake plastic sword in a military style line?
I do like a plastic sword.
So that's
the highlight. I mean, like that. Who wouldn't like that? Even now, if I could get Andrea somehow, and she loves Disney, if I could get her somehow to like renew our vows and do that, I would do it. That's awesome.
So it was only once, but a big thing. They will bend over backwards, Disney, and do whatever they can to accommodate your request for enough money. So this couple that was obsessed with Disney wanted to get married on the Pirates of the Caribbean. So myself and like 7-ish other employees all had to come in. We had to be there at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, something like that. And they opened the ride early just for this couple. They had a minister. They took
Minister
the ride.
had an octopus head.
Yeah.
The minister had a big old squid head.
This is old Pirates, right?
Yeah.
Or this is pre-Squidhead. Right?
So they did the ride. They
They were like, why are you turning into a squid? It doesn't make any sense.
Because the sea, I've become one with the sea.
Oh,
I've become
okay.
one with the sea. I'm Poseidon's son.
But can't you just get some barnacles?
Yeah, I would've gone
Why are
barnacle
you
hair.
turning into an animal?
Nope.
Weird.
I'd be Shrimp Man.
So they do the ride, and they do their I do's on the ride. They go through it. When they step off, all 8 of us were standing like a triangle in a column with our, with that music playing, with our pirate swords touching, and they walked underneath the tunnel into the parks to celebrate their honeymoon.
Was there anybody there cheering them on, their family or friends?
No.
It was just him by himself?
Just them, a squid, and Cabin Boy.
So what's weird about that is that walking through
I can't stop laughing.
a sword tunnel to nobody.
Yeah.
Because usually you walk through the tunnel to a crowd cheering, right?
You bring up an
You
exclamation.
just walk through.
It's the best day of your life. When I walked out, you remember
And then
mine?
there's some cast members like still putting their shirt like what the hell, and there's
Do
like
you remember mine?
janitors cleaning up. There's no cheering, so it's weird.
Oh, I
And
can't stop laughing.
and by the way, don't forget, it was all a bunch of 19 to 21-year-olds who were there on basically glorified spring break, who were out until 3 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
Girls with makeup running down their face.
Yeah.
All of us with bloodshot eyes, just holding the swords.
Did the people getting married look how I imagined they looked?
Oh, I know.
And just say
Yeah.
yes or no? And that's all we need to say.
Tiny car people.
Yeah, I think so.
Tiny car people.
All right,
It's hard to remember specifics. It was,
but you weren't
25.
surprised.
I'll tell you
You're
what.
oh, okay.
Would these people go to Veg Fest? I bet you they would. I bet you they would.
Would I be able to row a boat with one of them in the other side?
Oh my God. Good Lord.
So,
I can't stop laughing.
And did you ever have to emergency get the guests off, and then like the ride just couldn't keep going, and they had to walk through the damn animatronics and stuff?
That's the worst.
That's I mean, that stuff happens from time to time. It's pretty rare, but yeah, I'm sure.
And do you remember what you got paid back then?
Yeah, it was minimum wage, whatever that was at the time, like $6-ish an hour.
God, and then of course
that.
all the taxes or whatever you're white, like $4.80.
Yeah,
you're getting an hour.
Yeah, I remember
which
some
is
of my
insane.
checks were like, some of my checks, I'm just like, this is not a check.
And again, so like you had to stay at the Disney apartment. They would put 5 of you in a 2-bedroom, and they deducted that from your paycheck.
So 3 in one. Wait, how many rooms in the?
Yeah, 3 in one, 2 in the other. And then
why they do 3 in one, 2 in the other?
I don't know. That's how our situation was. And then they would deduct
4 in one,
every
1
month.
in the other.
I think it was like, I think the whole thing was like $12.50 a month. So everybody got $250 deducted out of their paycheck automatically.
Okay.
So in addition to the taxes and everything else.
Is this experience is what made you like more attracted to Latinos?
He wasn't going to tell you. This is the hard-hitting questions now. This is where Tom goes to flips his paper over and also says horny questions.
Obviously, like your wife's Brazilian.
Oh,
right. You know, and
first time I met her, I sprayed a beer on her feet. You remember that? First time I met her, I sprayed a Corona on her feet like I was trying to be funny or something.
You're
like a racist.
And you're a white a sheet of paper, Pittsburgh coal
right.
miner. You know, like
probably
probably didn't have that much experience.
You're like an Irish coal miner.
Latinas.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I've thought about that before because I'm a very white suburban northern guy now, I guess, but at the time, and I never really even knew too many Latin people before I moved to Florida. So did I always like Latin women and just realize it when I moved down here, or did living down here, it's like the chicken or the egg, did living down here influence my preferences? I have no idea.
Listen, I grew up in Miami. I have no idea why I married a boring white.
You went real white.
Because all ethnicities are way more interesting, and they'll yell at you. They're mean to you. I like that.
They'll spit in your mouth.
Yeah, but they're fiery.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of boring white.
Sometimes I want my boxers ripped off and punched in the face.
Yeah. You're scared. I like her walking around my house scared.
Yeah, I like eggshell sex.
So let's end with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because I have to yell about something for a second. I'm tired of all these Pittsburgh fans complaining that they're like, oh, we only make it to the first round of the playoffs every year, and then we're out. And
we're just the most famous football team of all time.
Tomlin can only win enough games to make it so he's never have a losing record. And the rest of the NFL is just looking at you guys like, quit bitching. You make it to the playoffs.
Definitely shut up.
Yeah.
Definitely shut up.
Yeah. Because I ended up betting against you, and then I had to pay off a bunch of bookies the other day.
That bet was brought up every Monday the entire season.
Oh, really?
Anger.
Yeah.
I mean, the
funny
Steelers chased him all year.
Crystal was bitching at me about like, what's all these Cash App payments? Because I
don't worry about it.
Because I got a couple old school bookies. I like that.
Yeah.
And then they now it's all technology, so you cash out. You don't have to meet them in a gas station anymore. I used to do that.
Do you miss that? Do you miss?
I do miss that.
The door to door, window to window.
Because we never get out. We go window to window at a gas station, and then I
That's
pass
called
them.
Highway Patrol.
And it was always in an envelope, and I felt like oh yeah, this is like the movies.
But by the way, appreciate you always paying your debts. I mean, the day that it was definitive that the Steelers had a better record than Miami this year.
Paid at midnight.
You said, yes, the money was
fast.
in my account.
Yeah, fast, because he's mad sending it. Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah.
So mad.
So mad.
Yeah. As I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, dude,
I could be anywhere. I could be anywhere. And I know I'm not part of his family. I could be anywhere, though, and I'd be like, What is that? He's like, I feel Tom paying a bet, an anger bet. I can feel him paying it.
Then these bookies, they message me like, all right, end of the season, we're settling up our bets. Sorry, but I'm getting a lot of pressure on me. They always tell me that. I'm like, I understand. And then he's like, don't mention anything about gambling in the notes. And then I'm like, why would you think I'm an idiot? Why would I put like gambling? And
So he writes, not gambling.
And then he's like, if you want to use an emoji, that's fine. I'm like, why would I? What am I going to use? A money emoji?
I'll use
or just pay you?
money emoji, skull, cop, eggplant.
And then I want
surfboard.
I want to imagine they're like a Italian guy, but they're probably just a nerd.
A nerd or a Latin guy with a Bluetooth in his ear.
But it's more exciting when you actually have to cash app a bookie rather than now it's all through Hard Rock.
Didn't you have a bookie come by here one time? And not impressive. Just looked like a nerd.
Yeah. When you see them, you're like, oh, you're not going to burn my feet.
They look like poker nerds. They all look like poker nerds.
Yeah. So back to the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then I hear people are like, oh, we need to we have a losing season, so we draft a new rookie QB. And then I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But that doesn't guarantee nothing.
No, it doesn't. It absolutely
you're making
doesn't.
this, like whatever Tomlin's doing, you're making the damn playoffs every year.
So what says you, Steelers fan?
I was telling Tom I before the show, this is kind of a bummer thing to admit, but I've found the last couple of years, I've kind of lost some of my passion for like my own team.
I like that.
I don't know.
I'm listening.
I know. Yeah, no.
I like that.
You're such a twisted person.
I don't know if it's because I'm in my 40s now, or if it's because like I've got a family and it's just not the biggest focus of my life. But for so many years, I lived and died by what happened to like the Steelers or to Penn State on the weekends, and now it's just kind of like, that's a bummer. All right, let's get on.
So you think maybe the baby?
I don't know, or maybe I've been away from Pittsburgh and from college for 20 years now. Maybe it's like the distance. I don't know what it is, but I don't get as worked up. I don't follow it as closely, and that sucks actually because that is like something that has made me so happy for so long.
You didn't even get that excited. We watched the game, the opening game, and you were pretty low key, dude.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've been trying to figure that out. Go.
It's because of the money and NIL.
Follow the money. Is this?
And
you think the game has changed?
Well, no, not even the game. It's just we all look now and we're like, wait a minute. NIL, no one's getting paid for their name, image, and likeness. They're just paying them to play. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing anything. So now it's just okay. You're gonna go to the college. You'll get paid the most, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And in the NFL, it's so transparent. We grew up in the '90s where there was only like ESPN, and there were still like you're like, oh, Mark Duper really cares. We thought that the players are like, oh, he orange and teal, he bleeds orange and teal, and then now we just realize through social media like, oh, they just care about the money and they don't give a damn. Some of these players don't even know all the teams in the NFL. It doesn't matter to them. They just go where they get paid the most.
You know, the other thing too, like when COVID happened, I don't know, do you guys consume like a lot of talking head, like sports media? No, not really.
I watch a lot of sports.
I do.
You do. I just watch the game. I watch a ton of sports, but that's it.
Yeah, I used to. And then when there were no sports for like whatever it was, 4-6 months, something like that, I'm trying to listen to these shows and I'm just like, God, this is stupid. Why do I spend so much time caring
now
what,
you've done it.
So-and-so
This
thinks
is Tom's
about.
favorite. Now you've done it. This is Tom's favorite stuff in the world.
We're about to hit year 20 of our fantasy football league,
Yeah.
and I haven't won it in 20 years. Susie's won it 8 times or whatever. Daniel's won it. Everybody's won it. Matt's won it.
I goofed into a win one year.
It was just me and Kevin. Never won. And you understand? And my brain, I'm like, the more I grind, I could win it. I'll run it out. If I consume this content and know everything about the NFL and every strategy there is, I will win. I have to. Like, this is not just a luck. This is skill and luck. Like poker.
He does put a lot of time into it.
And then every year I put insane. I listen while I run. I live hundreds of hours.
You're reading. You compare, contrast, compare. He's printing out worksheets. He's doing mock drafts.
Yeah. All for nothing. And every year I lose. And so, but I can't accept that it's just luck.
Well, it's not just luck. That's what I think. That's what keeps you on the hook.
Well, then if it's skill,
if it were just luck, you could detach yourself. But there is skill involved.
Is everybody out grinding me? Is Susie studying right now? I'll quit the show. I have to win.
No, in fact, last
year 20.
I believe last year Susie said I haven't had the time to research this the way I wanted
she's
to.
lying. That's she's getting in your
head.
No,
she did that before she even won.
She says that.
She
I
said
don't
that
know.
before she won.
No,
she's pretty coy though. I don't know what to believe with her.
No one can win that much. I put out a text to everybody in the group. I said, listen, you guys don't understand. No one could win this much without her knowing more than us. We have to see what she's doing. You understand?
She killed it.
She's doing something that we don't understand yet, and that has to be. She's won so many times.
They're actually thinking about renaming the Roy Helu Trophy to the Susie Trophy.
What podcast is she listening to?
Crazy.
And then her and her husband were in the championship game this year. What a downer that was.
But at least I didn't have to watch it. You know what I mean? Like it's like the Super Bowl. Boring.
Yeah.
What content are they consuming? I pay for stuff. Every year
tell people. Don't
I
say
pay
that.
like $80 for this package from these
$80.
whatever the hell. Like they give me all the latest insights.
I have a RotoWire account I can't turn off. I have one. It's like $4. I can't turn it off.
Anyway. All right, Matt. Let's plug your business you're in now.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm doing this new podcast, guys. And if any of your listeners want to check it out, the premise of it is it's called Who's the Baddie. So if you go on Apple or Spotify and search Who's the Baddie, you can find it. It's a movie podcast. And we look at movies from a different point of view, right? So like Tom, yours is out today. And we talked to you about Shawshank Redemption. And Daniel, you came on, we talked about Coco.
Yep.
So with Shawshank,
those movies really do sum up you and I believe. Right? Like, think about that.
Shawshank and Coco.
I'm Coco, baby.
We try to figure out if the actual bad guy, the titular bad guy, if you will, is the actual bad guy in the movie. So you surmise, Tom, that Andy Dufresne is actually the worst person in Shawshank Redemption because you don't believe his story and you think he's really a murderer. And we spent some time talking about that.
He killed his wife. She was banging.
Cold-blooded. Cold-blooded.
I mean, innocent man.
Oh, the chat room's now kicking it around. Yeah, that's why you got to listen to the show, guys. It's fun to kick these things around.
I hope you guys do. We really have a lot of fun doing it. It's new, but we've got about 15 or 20 movies. See if there's a movie on there you love. Download it. See what you think. We already talked about coming back with you guys. Dan, we have a really fun idea in May that we will hopefully do. Tom, you really want to do Demolition Man.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, good choice, man. Very good. Very good. Yeah, the one that we kind of kicked around? Yep. Okay, good. I won't say anything about it then. Yeah.
We've got a couple other Real Radio friends, like C-Lane is doing Con Air with us in another week.
I think Demolition Man was actually set in the year of last year.
It was
like 2024.
I think you're right.
Or something like that.
Yeah, we may have passed it. Still no shells.
Jack Bradshaw's coming in a couple of weeks. He's going to come and do one with us. So it's very Real Radio friendly. Who's the Baddie if you search for it? Thanks for letting me talk about it, guys.
There you go. Oh, man, our pleasure. It's good to have you in here.
Yeah, and we will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. That was really good.
That was funny.
Yeah. Always fun to have you in here, man.
Oh, yeah, it's always
I wish we got to do it more.
I know. The more I do bullshit real person jobs, and now that I'm doing this podcast, the more I miss just being behind a microphone and shooting the shit. It's so much more fun than working.
Yeah, no. Unless
we're lucky.
You only do that, then it's a job again.
Yeah, especially now, real estate is like, the market sucks so bad. It's just such a grind. It's like,
Yeah, all the margins are.
I'm sure Crystal's like feeling the same stuff, but it's like everywhere.
It's been slow since really.
It's been almost 2 years for us. It's been slow.
Yeah, but the interest rates are still high, so it's like no one, and that's gonna take a while.
All right, guys. I think we're going to continue a little bit after this. I'm going to put on just some regular old downtown stuff. And then we'll be back here in a minute. So watch this, and we will be back momentarily. Hello. We're back. Bearded brava. Yeah, you should feel like you're in an elevator. That's kind of the point. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure that we were respectful to Matt. All right. Would you like to start?
Sure.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and also YouTube. We'd love it if you join us. Come over and hang out. Just search for @Tom and Dan Live. Like and subscribe. Tons of content on there. Replays of every single day that we record. Edited replays to make it quicker if you want to like breeze through a replay. And you can check all of that out on YouTube and Twitch.
Also, if you're on spring break right now, you're looking for something to do with the kids, Orlando Science Center is always a great place to go. And even you work remotely, you hook up to the Wi-Fi and have your kid explore the Science Center.
Yeah, man.
It's gigantic.
It's great for like littles too. Like I know a lot of people think, well, I got like a toddler. Well, that's great because they got
all
areas
ages.
for like littles, and then they've got stuff all the way up until like your young teens. A lot of different, tons of different floors there. A planetarium. It's awesome.
Yeah, their new spy exhibit right now. Check that out. It's all about spies and espionage and stuff. So anyway, that's at the Orlando Science Center.
Yep.
So
I asked, no toilet cam.
Or what? No.
Moving on. So I read this earlier today, and I just want to get your thoughts on this because normally we don't cover like television news or news show news, but you probably do get a lot of complaints from me about like how all ideas are done and nothing is original.
Yeah.
And that's why the show that you have been watching with Crystal, Severance, does pique my curiosity a little bit because it is original.
Yes.
It's exactly the same thing I said, because I'm a weirdo. Like when Being John Malkovich, the movie came out, I remember seeing it. I went to see it with Savannah, of all people, who we may get to talk to very soon.
Yeah.
And I loved it because I thought it was just crazy. And you've been describing Severance as that, but like what I'm going to tell you, this next story I'm going to tell you about is about a show not crazy. Yes.
It's hard to find a new premise nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot has been done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to find anything new that you haven't seen before is valuable. You're like, well, at least I've never seen this concept before.
It makes me think of like shows that probably didn't do well or only had like one season. Like, do you remember the show Herman's Head?
Oh, yes. I used to watch Herman's Head in the 90s.
So like, you're the second person I've mentioned that to that went, oh, and they know it. So I'm like,
but I feel like Inside Out
stole from Herman's Head. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm so glad you said that. So the estate of Michael Crichton's, creator of ER, has filed, actually his widow, Sherry Crichton, has filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers over a new medical drama called The Pit. The lawsuit, initiated by Crichton's widow, Sherry, alleges that The Pit is a rebranded version of a proposed ER reboot that was in discussion with Warner Brothers. After negotiations for the reboot fell through, Warner Brothers allegedly proceeded with The Pit without crediting or compensating the Crichton estate. Notably, The Pit, which is the new show, features Noah Wyle, a star from the original ER, and is produced by John Wells, the original showrunner of ER. Warner Brothers contends that The Pit is a, quote, distinct show, and that Noah Wyle, has stated that the characters in both series are completely different.
All right.
Get out of here with that. Are you're lying. You're lying, Noah Wyle. You're lying. That's a lie.
Well, of course they don't want to pay.
That's a straight up lie.
They don't want to pay the ER, Michael Crichton.
But
or
you're
whatever
stealing the idea.
Well, hold on.
I had a feeling. I feel like I'm picking news stories for Ed Tilligan. Like I really do. I really know how to pick stories as a news producer. I was like, if I pick this, I know Tom can defend this.
Okay.
People in the chat room are saying if we were going to pick a show, that The Pit is a very good show.
I, as you can imagine, don't like paying for art, and I would also
you
imagine
strike me as a free art man.
that any money man within giant production companies also don't want to pay for other people's art, and so they're gonna look at and they're like, well, we're definitely not paying ER some sort of royalties for any of this. We're just going to, by the letter of the law and using our lawyers, going to say this is different enough to not be any sort of like copyright or like, stealing. Is because you could make another ER show. And
there are tons of styled ER
Of course,
shows.
it's going to be similar. There's an emergency ER doctor and nurses.
Isn't it the connection to Noah Wiley, though? See, that's the part I have a problem with. I was like, you can't, like, if we did Tom and Dan, right?
Yeah.
And we did the show, and then we reboot it down and we own it, and we reboot it down the line, and you just slide in another Dan.
Oh, if you die in your hip surgery, I'm getting Amord Mac to fill it.
But you'd have to name him Dan.
Yeah, and I'll paint him white. and then so no one knows. Everybody's like, you're trying to do the same thing. I'm like, no,
I think they're going to lose that. I think they're going to lose that.
You have to pay Andrew's estate or, Daniel's estate. Like, nope, this is totally different.
I don't think you could do that. I think they're going to lose this one. It's going to go to trial at the end of March, but I bet you they lose that one because you're getting the same actor to play the same thing he did. Yeah, and he was the main character in ER.
You're getting the same actor, but he's not the same name. And
no, come on.
By the law, they're going to say, well, this actor can play a different character.
Yeah, but you're not a rules or rules guy. Come on. We know
what
we're doing here.
But I'm going to save money. I don't want to pay the ER people.
Well, I think they're going to win it, though.
And I want the nostalgia. These things are hard to win.
But I think this one's pretty clear cut because if you watch The Pit without sound, and you watch ER without sound, how do you know which is which?
But I would argue, as the Pitt's lawyers, like it's a ER-based show. This is what ERs look like. If you did a circus show, it's going to look like any other circus show.
But you're using,
but
like you're not going to use the same ringmaster in both shows.
Like if you're
not going to use. That's the problem. The problem is it's not that they're doing another medical show. There's thousands of medical shows. The problem is you're taking the main character from our show and putting him on another show and copying our show.
But that is the lawyer term. The character. The same actor, not the same character, right? He's not playing. I don't even know what his name was.
Well, they're claiming that, but what I think happened was, and I think that's what they're going to.
But they
want
the nostalgia.
Yeah, but they got to the exactly. They want their cake and eat it too. Like you can't get to the. No. They're going to lose on this, I bet.
I bet you they win because they've already looked at it and took the chance. Like all these giant corporations, all they
it's so cheesy though.
Yeah,
it makes me hate the show because it's like you pulled a fast one, and that's lame.
But that's what corporations do. They want to make the money, and so of course they know what they're doing. They're stealing ER show and the nostalgia behind it, and
because negotiations broke down,
and they want to get that nostalgia, and they want to get the people watching
without
this.
Giving Crichton their cut.
Without paying the money. Of course they do.
I think they're going to have to pony up.
I don't. I would bet money that they don't. Because here's what happens when they go to court.
I'll bet you $20 on it just to make it fun, and we'll see what happens.
Because here's what happens when they go to court. If they do go to a jury or whatever, and a jury has to make a decision, there are stipulations that have to be written about copyright infringement.
Sure.
And the lawyers of the Pit already know those. So they knew this. If we need to cover ourselves and make sure none of these stipulations are broken, so if it ever does have to go to court, and then they probably checked them all. So other side.
That's the problem. You just hit it right there. They probably checked them all.
Yeah, I think they did because the lawyers.
I don't know if they did. There's a news story this morning. John Morgan's firm submitted an entire case where the attorney on the case used AI, and it cited 8 cases that were absolutely not real.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you said he probably checked it. So
yeah.
And now I'll say I think they got a better case. Also, I got some voicemails and emails lined up when you are ready, sir.
Yeah. It's just corporations, their number one thing is like don't.
But I think they bully too. I think it's different now. I think now you're seeing a lot of people doing things and then just asking for forgiveness later, and it could be that too. That's why I think there's a case here. I mean, like, our president is currently doing it. I mean, like, we live in a society now where I feel like people don't necessarily do all the work in front. They just, we'll figure it out later. We'll do it on the back end.
Yeah.
Like we changed the name of the guy, so what? It'll go to court and then we'll fight it.
Well, that's the thing too. Like,
and that's lame. I feel like that's kind of lame.
The court system, these giant corporations and these lawyers, they know it's like you can't. They're like, okay, sue me. We have 100 lawsuits going on right now. All we'll do, and then the other side knows it too, is like if you try to sue them, they'll drag it out until you're bankrupt. And they'll like, all right, you want to spend $180,000 of your own money this year on lawyers to try to sue us, and it won't even resolve it till 5 years from now.
Right.
The show will be
so it wouldn't be worth doing it.
And that's what they bank on is that they're like, okay, this show will be on and off the air by the time it even gets resolved, and you could possibly lose hundreds of thousands of dollars yourself in lawyer fees. Are you going to do it just to prove a point, or are you going to move on? And that they know that they'll file the lawsuit because that's free. You could or cheap. You pay your lawyer to file, and just to make a public point, like, hey, they're stealing our stuff. Here's the media's covering it,
right?
And then
they should, but I think they stole their stuff. But
it'll never. Of course they did. They for sure did it. It's just they know they'll never be. There's no repercussions from doing it.
Let's do a couple of emails, a couple of voicemails. I've got both. Let's start with a Balatro card update. There's a thread on our Tom and Dan it's Tom and Dan, our Mediocre Time Reddit page, where people are talking about Balatro. A lot of people playing it. A lot of people getting yelled at by their wives for playing it, 30 hours.
Yeah.
So let's see what this guy says.
Hey guys, it's Bubble Bath.
Oh, hold on. I got too many things happening. Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. I gotta turn off the jazz. Okay, here we go.
Hey guys, it's Bubble Bath Billy. Breaking news, Daniel. Breaking news on Balatro. Apparently when Balatro was released, it was labeled as a 18 and up game because of its resemblance to poker, even though it's not a poker game. And they had filed an appeal, and they just won their appeal to relabel it as a 12 and up game instead of 18 and up. So that's a big win. Congratulations. Maisie is almost legally allowed to play Balatro.
She has no interest in poker or any of my dumb card games, but a lot of dads do, and it is a fun game, man. You can lose some time with that game.
But can you win or lose money, actual money, or no? Is it just for killing time?
It's just for killing time, but I guess if you wanted to, you could set up a way to like play tournament style and play against people, sure.
And did they have that in the app? Or is
not
it
in
money?
the app, no.
Okay.
It's a single-player game right now. I could see where other people, it's still, I guess it's still relatively new, but there's still a lot of secrets that are kind of coming out about it, too, like little hidden tricks and little hidden cards and little triggers that happen within the game that we don't all know what's in there. Because of this Canadian guy. But no, it's not really a real compete against, anybody for money type thing, or even compete against other people. You just kind of compete against yourself to see if you can win. And it's really difficult to win. Like, I've only won, maybe 5 hands.
Okay.
It's hard. It's really, normally you get to a point where you're stuck, and then you can't produce enough points to beat the blind.
If you win, can you tell everybody?
Well, yeah.
Or do people know, you put your name on a board of some sort?
I don't think there's a public one.
It's just yourself.
I mean, you could go to your Instagram and do it if you're a real weirdo, if you really
well,
needed that.
I need a reason to play.
Yeah.
I need...
That's really sad, some of the things you say.
But it's how my brain is wired, and I think there's a lot of people wired like this. I can't do anything without some, I'll play it if it's hard to win and I can put my name on a leaderboard and then look what I accomplished.
Yeah, but what if the leaderboard goes nowhere?
Well, no, I need other people to see it for it to have some sort of value.
Yeah, but what if they weren't really? You see what I'm saying? It's all in your brain, man. You got to figure something out. I mean, what if the leaderboard, they say it goes somewhere, but it doesn't?
But if I'm playing just to kill time, what am I killing time? It's the most valuable thing.
No, you're an insane person. Let's do this one. This guy says, hey, Dan. Oh, I think this is your mailman. He says, hey, Dan, I already called about this show and Tom's near encyclopedic knowledge about NFL history. Just a few minutes after my call, you started talking about a card game you found on Xbox. I tried a couple of times to find it. I couldn't find it. Please tell me what it is. It's Balatro. And I'm going to look for an encyclopedia of Super Bowl history for Tom. I had one many years ago, but lost it in a move. Do you think he might read it? Yeah, probably not. Greg, your mailman. There we go.
Greg. I love you, Greg. You've been my mailman for years.
He's been communicating through email through me to you for 10 years.
Yeah. And Greg's a great guy. And but think about what you're saying. You're gonna send me an encyclopedia of football history. I have it in my hand. It's available on the internet.
Well, he's making a knock on you because he also said that no. It was the stat that you ripped from somewhere. Nobody from the college Alabama scored in a Super Bowl game. Remember? And then a lot of people called you on it and said, somebody has.
No one, only him, and called you.
No, but there was a couple of other guys that emailed me and said that there were other people that.
Why did they email me? No one said.
Know. And I get tired of correcting it because even if I correct him, he doesn't believe the correction.
No, that could be wrong. I didn't do any research. I saw that on social media, and then I looked at the comments, and there was no like, "Hey, this is not right." And then I don't know. So then I was like, it must be right.
It was Alabama, right? Wasn't that we can figure this out.
I looked it up on Google too because I thought that could have been a mistake, and then Google.
Yeah, we had a couple people say that, and it was a recognizable name too. It wasn't like a crazier person that it was a insulary receiver that nobody would know.
Yeah. I did a little research before I said that stat because I didn't believe it either. Then I thought, the only reason this person said it is because it sounds not real, but it is real.
Yeah, so several players from the University of Alabama have scored in the Super Bowl. Some notable examples are Derrick Henry, O.J. Howard, Sean Alexander, Julio Jones. That's what it said.
Was Derrick Henry in the Super Bowl?
He's saying Super Bowl LIII while playing for the Titans. O.J. Howard, tight end, scored in Super Bowl LV for Tampa Bay Bucks. Sean Alexander, running back, played in Super Bowl XL. And Julio Jones, LY with the Atlanta Falcons. He didn't score. They said played in a Super Bowl. So two. Derrick Henry and O.J. Howard is what they're saying.
What I'm trying to remember the Super Bowl. Was that the Super Bowl Derrick Henry threw that pass?
I think you're right.
And who was the quarterback for the Titans? Did the Titans go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, their first year, didn't they? Wasn't it? Didn't they go to the Super Bowl their inaugural year? Was it 2002?
Maybe.
It
wouldn't. Derrick Henry wouldn't be there.
It was huge. It was I don't know.
I didn't think Derrick Henry ever played in the Super Bowl.
Titans have only gone their first year. Yeah, that's what Ghost is saying. That was the year the Rams beat them.
Okay, so then Derrick Henry's never played in the Super Bowl, right?
I don't know, man.
Well, I'm questioning it. I'm trying to figure it out.
No, I know, but I'm just reading what this thing says, and I tell you it, and then you look at me and you're like, no, I'm questioning it. I'm like, well, okay.
Well, it's wrong. It could be wrong, right?
I don't know. You could be wrong. You're always wrong.
I know, but I have to look it up.
Yeah. We want to do another one? Let's do it. Well, let's do one more voicemail, and then we'll probably be right at the right amount of time. Let's do this one right here because I know you hate this, and surprisingly, I hate this as well.
Tom and Dan, this is a Medicus in Fort Myers. On the last BDM show, you talked about the surprise party. I don't care one way or another about that, but what I absolutely hate is being in a restaurant and having the whole staff come to sing happy birthday to you. You get everybody looking at you, then you get a bunch of waiters and waitresses acting like they're all happy, but you know they're hating their life right there, dead behind the eyes, just singing happy birthday to you. And you got to sit there like an idiot while they do it. It sucks. It's the worst. Thanks, guys.
I've thought about this before. Why not just go like, stop. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. Like,
because you'd be a crazy person.
But it would be funny, right? It'd be funny if I think everybody would start laughing if I did that.
They would, and I do want to talk about this, but I looked it up real quick while this guy was talking. Derrick Henry has not played in the Super Bowl.
Okay,
so,
well, there you go.
But so the birthday, I believe that the birthday song at restaurants, there is a bullying aspect to it that is more than the doing it for the enjoyment of the person. Like, I feel like other people do it to people in their group, like whoever's there, so that person's uncomfortable.
That's a newer form of it. It didn't used to be that way. It used to be a genuine, I want to give you love and celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
But then it became weaponized.
Because I don't think anybody really enjoys that. like in their heart of hearts, like, oh, I'm so super glad that the wait staff came out and sang happy birthday, even though I see it in their eyes, they don't want to do it.
When I ever, I'm trying to think, like, even as a kid, if somebody were singing like happy birthday to me, yeah, I think I probably enjoyed it. Like when I was at Casa Gallardo in Daytona, and I'm trying to think about when the flip was. When was the weaponization of the happy birthday song?
Kids are different. I'm saying adults. The kids, I understand.
Right.
The kids get a kick out of it. They don't understand.
You get like a piece of cake and some ice cream.
They don't
That
understand.
becomes a nothing for you when you're an adult.
But people still do it as adults, and they do it for bullying, right? No adult is sitting there like, yay, the waiter or waitress and the cooks came out there singing me happy birthday. Like, they understand that no one really wants to do that. And then your friends or family just bullying you, essentially, like making you feel embarrassed.
Yeah, that's what it is now.
Because we did it,
so we can end it.
We did it to my sister at Longhorn Steakhouse, and she had to sit on a saddle.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
they don't do stuff like that anymore, I don't think, do they? Or is this
no, this wasn't that long ago.
Oh,
this is
awesome.
This is after COVID.
I want to sit on a saddle.
And they bring out a saddle, and then you.
Oh, that's awesome.
You sit on the saddle.
Do you wear a cowboy hat?
I think they give you a cowboy hat.
I want a cowboy hat.
It's like maybe either a paper cowboy hat or they have a one prop.
I'm not wearing a paper cowboy hat.
They probably stopped doing the real cowboy hat because of lice.
Yeah, COVID. You get on the hat.
So that tells me it's all for bullying. It's like we're embarrassing this person with a happy birthday song. Yeah, because no one wants that.
No.
In fact, I've multiple times been around other groups of adults during a birthday dinner where they said no one better do the happy birthday.
Yeah,
like,
I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, because I don't want that.
Don't do it to me.
It's
I yelled at Andrea. Andrea will do it to me because I'll play a prank on her. She'll play a prank on me. She'll do it, and I'll say don't do it. And she'll do it.
Yeah.
She don't care
because you're essentially forcing the staff to sing happy birthday knowing they don't want to do it. So it's like it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable having people sing happy birthday not wanting to. They don't know, they're strangers.
Now what is worse? Is it worse, because I've seen this before too, is it worse if all the people come out and sing it, or is it worse when they do it over the entire loudspeaker and it's just like a tape recorded happy birthday song?
I've never seen that one.
They do that at skating rinks and some pizza places and stuff where they play happy birthday and they're playing it. That's actually, that one's okay, I feel like.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
again,
it's not drawing as much attention.
If it's for the kids, fine. Yeah.
Right.
Can you request that at a high-end steakhouse? No, right?
Well, at the high-end steakhouse, they do another move that I don't like, is where they write happy birthday in chocolate sauce on the edge of my plate.
Yeah.
And then they put some dessert I don't want in the center of the plate, like a key lime macaroon. Don't care for it. Don't want it. Do you have anything normal, like a chocolate chip cookie or a big piece of chocolate cake? Don't write happy birthday and then give me a sliver of macadamia carrot ganache. I don't want that.
Let's get rid of macaroons. I have to pretend that I'm fancy
macaroons.
And I like it. I don't want
macaroons. I don't like macaroons.
Give me a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, thank you.
Oreo.
I don't like Post Malone Oreos are fine. They're the best Oreos.
All right, we will be right back.
Nice. Very good. And then now we'll take a break. And we're coming back at what time?
We'll come back right before Howie.
Howie?
So,
Okay.
We'll come back from that.
I don't even want to tell you guys who we're talking to at 1:45. In fact, I'm not going to, but you're not going to want to miss it. There. That's how you sell it. All right, we'll be back like at 1:30 or 1